As we enter into the month of Ramadan, we have to remember that all Muslims, male and female, have to fast. This includes young people who have reached the age of puberty or bulugh, as we know. And this is the young men who have obtained coarse pubic hair or the young girls who have reached their first menstrual cycle. So all of these young people have to fast. If they have not found these issues right here, then they would wait until the period of 18 lunar years. And after that period, when they're entering into the 19th year, then they are responsible and they have to fast as well. But the general understanding is all Muslims have to fast. This is also predicated upon a couple of things that have to be remembered. And the conditions of it is they have to be Muslim, they have to have sound mind, they have to be sane. And again, the young ladies are free from the prohibitive bleedings that come about. And the young men are responsible age and they've reached an age where they are experiencing either they've had their first wet dream or the coarse pubic hair has appeared on their bodies. From that point there, the obligation of fasting is entered into for all males and females. There's also a common misconception that the females who are pregnant or nursing don't have to fast. There's also the common misconception that the older community or people who are sick don't have to fast. This is also conditional. It's conditional on the fact that you have to remember either if it's something that's going to cause you harm, which is not always the case. A lot of times the fasting is difficult for even those of us who are healthy. But if the people in question are going to be harmed by them not fasting, or in the case of the pregnant woman, the baby would be harmed before its birth, then fasting is something that they should forego. But this is based on sound understanding of personal experience or medical advice. It's not something that you should just do of your own accord. It's recommended that you consult with your doctor or your local imams, and that way you can get a better understanding of that issue. But for the ones who do have to forego fasting because of whatever reason, old, male or female, for the older community and the people who are sick and in the nursing woman, they forego the days. The older community, if it's something that they're not going to be able to continue later on down the line, then they don't have to fast and the days are not necessary for them to make up. But the sick people and the nursing woman and also the pregnant woman have to make up the days later after this period of sickness has passed, after the nursing period is ended, or after the pregnancy is over with, and before the entrance of the next Ramadan, the fast needs to be made up. Also, we have to remember in the course of the feeding, which is also a common understanding amongst people that you have to feed and in the fast, you don't have to fast. This is not correct. For the older people and the sick people and the nursing woman, if they choose to feed, then this is a highly recommended act. This is a virtuous act for them to carry out, but it's not something that they have to do. But again, the fast has to be made up. Also, if you intentionally miss the fast for whatever reason without a valid excuse, then you also have to pay your kafara, which is the way that you go about expiating for the act being missed, and you also have to make up the fast. So you have to be careful. Ask these imams in the community about how you're supposed to go about taking care of those issues. Another thing that we have to remember is with our children who have reached the age of responsibility, they have to fast. So during this period of time of the year, we're coming into the summer months. It's really hot. We're coming into exam periods. So the young people have to fast if they have reached the age of responsibility. You can't tell them that they can forego the fasting and they don't have to worry about it. If they miss a day of fasting, it has to be made up for sound reasons. You have to consult with your local imams to be able to get clarification on that. Also, with the younger children who are under the age of responsibility, it's not necessary that they fast, and it's not something that you should be forcing them to believe or leading them to believe that they have to do. If they want to fast, then you should use hikmah. You should take your time with them. Allow them to maybe go for a few hours of the day. Maybe you can forego a lunch for them, but do not have them thinking or imposing upon them the act that they have to fast, and this is something that they have to do, because this is not correct. In terms of just the overall understanding of the responsibility of Ramadan, is for every Muslim to be able to increase in their understanding and ability to obtain and practice and live out taqwa, which we all know is the primary reason that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has legislated the fast for us. And if we can remember to remain God conscious, I think it will be a lot more beneficial for each one of us as we're making these decisions about who has to and who does not have to fast, that we will be able to make better decisions, because we know there's an obligation and it has a spiritual benefit to it. And in order for us to be on a sound level of obedience, we have to make sure that we're always upholding our obligations. Assalamu alaikum.